What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Reel Junkies. I'm your host, Farhan, here with my man Vito, doing a retro review for The Negotiator, which is a movie that when we first discussed reviewing this, I was a little upset with myself because I felt like I had folded and not held up my obligation as a film fan because I really couldn't believe that I hadn't seen this yet. There was so much about this film that just falls under the radar of things I like. It's starring Samuel Jackson. Well, no, actually, no. Number one, it's a crime thriller, which for any of you who know my taste in movies, that's like one of my go-tos. It's starring Sam Jackson. It's directed by F. Gary Gray. And another weird common theme amongst all the movies I like is starring Kevin Spacey. What that says about me, that Kevin Spacey keeps popping up in my favorite movies, I don't know. But that's a common theme amongst movies I like or that I hold in high regard, is they seem to have Kevin Spacey in them, i.e. Seven, Usual Suspects. But we are here now with The Negotiator, also starring Kevin Spacey. And I have to say, I'm still, after seeing it, I'm even more mad at myself that I hadn't seen this yet.
Like,
Because this is a
fucking
banger.
bro. I thought, because movies, sometimes you go back and watch movies and you're like, okay, this was good when I was little. I loved it. Then I watch it now. I'm like, okay, this was good at the time. It's okay now.
Yeah.
This is a good movie. Like, I feel like this stands up. It definitely stands up today. A remake would probably go terribly wrong. They do so many things but this, I mean, I'm watching. I'm like, yo, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Like, just as good
I
as you
think
remember
the
it the first
biggest
time?
thing is I think it might be better, dog.
Okay.
I think the first time I watched it was like on cable TV, so like TNT or some shit like that. So commercials, censorship, all that good shit. They do a lot more when you can watch it straight through and no censorship. So definitely better than the first time I seen it for sure.
Okay.
And you saying like Kevin Spacey in it. Yo, the cast is actually pretty fucking stacked. It's not a lot of outside of Kevin Spacey and Samuel Jackson, there's not a lot of like big name actors, but it's a lot of I know that guy. It's a lot of those in here.
Yeah.
Like, and some of the cops in here, I'm sorry, Paul Giamatti's in here too.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be probably the other big name is Paul Giamatti.
But outside of that, all the cops that are that have speaking roles that have a part in the movie, they play. You see them, they play cops in other ones. I think the one that and then once we get into the story, I'll come back to him. The one that I first drew my attention was Beck. And it's played by David Morris, and that's because he plays I think he plays a colonel in The Rock.
Yeah.
When we talked about The Rock.
Okay.
He's the one that why am I forgetting the general's name? His real name, the actor that plays him.
In The Rock?
Yeah. He's in
Is
History of Violence. He's in Appaloosa.
you're not talking about Ed Harris, are you? Or are you talking about Ed Harris? It is Ed Harris? Yeah.
So he's the one that Ed Harris tells, I'm giving you I'm giving you an order. I'm asking you as a friend. Now I'm telling you as a man with a gun.
Yep.
So he plays a background character in a lot of things. He just looks like he's the bad guy.
Now, he has the face of a villain. That's fair.
He has
Some
the
people are
face of
born
a
to play
villain,
that.
less of the face and more so the demeanor.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. And I echo that point about this cast is stacked not with big names, but just with very skilled actors.
Yes.
Because once you get past Sam, Kevin Spacey, and Paul Giamatti, the rest aren't household names, but they are all actors who, if you're familiar with their other work, they are very skilled. One person that, like, for me was the standout was Ron Rifkin as Frost.
Yes, he
Like,
plays
yes. And full
the only reason I
spoilers
know,
on this one, because this movie came out in
of
98
course,
also, just letting y'all know.
the first thing I seen him in, which was probably before this, was Alias. And he
Okay,
plays
which I haven't seen
the
still.
main bad guy on there.
I haven't seen that show.
I want to take a quick break. Want to get back to Rifkin for you though. But shout out to our Black Queen Regina Taylor.
We always
She
got to do a Black
plays
Queen shout out because she's the only one in
Got to,
here.
man. She's the only one in there.
She's the only one in here. It's just her.
I think maybe one of the reporters would have been black.
Yeah.
Damn near, they were the only two black people in the movie.
I'm about to say
Like,
Samuel Jackson and his wife. That was it. Them the only two.
No, it was a few.
There was a black
but, like,
cop.
you
There's
didn't
another
see
black
him.
cop.
It was Marcus who came
Yeah.
in, and then it was one of the bad cops was black, and then it may have been like a report. It's a few of them, but like
Yeah. as
You
far as
really
characters
like
that
we could
matter,
probably
like,
count on our
yeah,
fingers, like, how
yeah,
many is actually in the movie.
yeah,
But I knew her from, she did a TV show called The Unit, and she was on there. That's my first introduction to her. But,
okay.
yeah, Rifkin is one who, that's the one who where before he has a, dude, my mind is just fucking not working today.
Hey,
But
it's been a week, my nigga, so I feel you.
Man, it's
I
only
feel you.
Wednesday.
It's only
Rifkin is
Wednesday, and
one,
it's been a week.
dog, where when I see him, I automatically assume he's the bad guy. I forgot that he was the bad guy in this movie.
I didn't. It's crazy because I haven't seen this yet, and you're so correct. Because when I first seen him, obviously we knew Nebom because Nebom was the one that was mentioned. Nebom played by J.T. Walsh. He
I ain't
was the
gonna
one
lie,
that was
Nebon
mentioned.
played that shit. I forgot the movie. I knew the premise of the movie.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
remember like the big stuff, but like I forgot who was all involved. And
yeah.
Nebon played it so fucking good, bro.
He's played smooth. Yes.
He played like when he said, I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead of you. When he said when he was asking him questions, and he said, "Who killed Nate?" And he's like, "You."
You.
They like, I don't know if he's lying or not. It's like
Yeah, you feel me? It's like,
he
damn,
was
like that was
very
convincing.
convincing, bro.
Yeah, no, facts. And going like to the point though, like of excuse me, like to the point of like Nate, giving Samuel Jackson's character Danny the rundown, like of, the embezzlement that he's investigating. Nebom was one of the first names he mentioned. So
Mhm.
Nebom was already to the audience, like, all right, you're already shady
He
off
was
rip.
already a suspect.
And then the audience from there, you're really trying to figure out, okay, he's involved somehow in some capacity. We don't know if he's the one directly embezzling. We don't know if he's just supporting, but we know he's involved somehow. But we also know there's a group of other cops, most of whom we've probably already seen on screen and whose characters have been mentioned by name that are the main ones involved and are the ones that A, killed Nate, and are B, framing Danny, Samuel Jackson's character. And when I'm like racking my brain as an audience member, I'm like, all right, let me see if I can figure out who. I wasn't able to figure out the rest. I was wrong on a few of them. But the one I was 100% correct on, I looked at Frost and I'm like, something about you just don't feel right. And I can't figure
Something
out what
about
it
him just
is.
off.
Something just feels off right with this dude right here. Something feels off. And I think what it was, and I don't know why it was this, the scene where Samuel Jackson pretends to shoot and kill one of the officers that breaches when he's holding the other people hostage. One of the officers that breaches, he pretends to shoot and kill them over the phone with the other hostage negotiator, which we'll get into. And we're jumping all over the story right now. But the
Yeah.
other hostage negotiator, when they released, or when Sam Jackson's character like agreed to release him and agreed to let him go, and it was the way he said, yeah, when Danny shot that guy, and it was like, you didn't really see him do that. And it's like you're giving, I don't know, it's like you're giving these like very sure declarations of what happened when you kind of don't really know what happened. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I get you can reasonably assume,
I mean,
but it was like
yeah.
yeah, you can reasonably assume probably, but like, I don't know. It felt to me, and I don't know why that was a thing for me that made me go like, huh, he seems suspicious now. But for some reason, that scene was like made me go like, I don't know. I feel like you're just using the situation to conveniently create the narrative you want to create because you're trying to get the heat off of you. Obviously, I ended up being right, but it was just the way his character was carrying himself through the hostage situation, and then up until that point when he's like just basically trying to add more smut on Danny's name. I'm like, you have to be involved in this somehow. That was so apparent to me. But to kind of get linear into the story now, like actually give a real play by play. Um I do like the way this film opened with kind of I don't want to call it a cold open, but just like an open of an unrelated incident, kind of giving you an idea
Yeah,
of how respected Danny is as a hostage negotiator. He's a hostage negotiator for the Chicago Police Department. They show that he's a risk taker, someone who's willing to kind of push the boundaries of what's allowed and what is given to him as far as his parameters during the job, because he does some very reckless things in that opening scene. And it just gives
100%.
yeah, some very reckless things. It's like the cliche cop who colors outside of the lines a little bit and kind of goes, outside of what he's ordered to do, but the results are so good. He's a pain in the captain's ass, but he delivers results, so the captain can't really say much. It's like that kind of cliche. And I like how the movie goes from that and then doesn't really waste time setting up the story from there. The pacing from there, it
Immediately.
goes quick. And this movie has like a damn near 2.5 hour runtime. It's like 2 hours and 20
Yeah.
minutes. So for it
And
to
it
usually
doesn't feel like it at
it
all.
doesn't. Like, after that opening scene, and, there's a scene where for some reason they got a Samuel Jackson dancing to Cotton Eye Joe, but that's actually the weirdest thing in this movie, honestly. That was the thing that threw me off the most. But once you get past that and Samuel Jackson sits down with his partner, Nate, and Nate gives him the rundown about, "Hey, I've been investigating this thing in our own department. We got some crooked cops that are embezzling." Once that scene happens, the movie is fast and furious from there. Like, it may go into a little bit of a lull at certain points, but it's not like it doesn't come to a screeching halt, and there's not really real down moments. Even the moments where there's not action or like intense moments happening, there's scenes of like very heavy, dramatic, like emotional weight
Yeah.
that are happening in
A
those scenes. So
real
yes.
heavy effect. I think I did wanna let me see, let me grab my I don't have many notes because I was really, like, just enjoying the fucking movie, but it's also not a movie that's really hard to follow, hard to get with. You may not 100% know what's going on, but you get the premise of the movie. It's not gonna be something where it's like, "I didn't see that coming." Just like you
Mhm.
said, like, when you seen Frost, you like, "Okay, yeah, he acting, he
Yeah.
moving a little funny."
Yeah.
So, like, you gonna finish it ain't fucking, what's the movie I'm looking for? Tenet,
Or
where
Enemy.
niggas still don't know what Tenet about,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Still don't know what happened, but,
That's how I feel about Note. I still don't know what that movie's about to this day.
still ain't seen it. Still ain't
Yeah,
seen it.
you're not missing much.
Okay, bet. So, I wanna before I get to the point I wanted to make,
Mhm.
I just wanna say, every time I see Samuel L. Jackson with hair is hilarious
It feels
because
weird now, like,
it
looking back
does.
on
Most
it.
of my life, when I've seen him, he's been bald.
Yeah.
And I've seen him in other movies like, this, Die Hard 2?
I think that was that Die Hard 2 or 3? I think that was 3 he was in, if I'm not tripping.
It was 3 because 2 was
Yeah.
at the airport.
2 was the airport.
Long Kiss Goodnight, he has here.
Jackie Brown? Kind
Jackie
of.
Brown, oh my god, that fucking
Jackie Brown, kind of.
he has hair in the beginning of, I wanna say it's Eddie Murphy's, I can't remember if it's Raw or Delirious, but at the beginning, they have a scene where, they're all at family dinner and Eddie tells a joke,
Mhm.
and Samuel Jackson plays his uncle, and he long hair, and
Okay.
it's very weird, like, especially, like, now that I'm grown and I go back and watch it, I'm like, "Oh shit, that's Samuel Jackson." Like,
Yeah.
he did this? Which speaks to, what we said about him before was he makes popcorn movie. He makes movies to entertain people.
Yeah.
He's not trying for an Oscar or Emmy or whatever the fuck it is. He's going out to make a movie so we can enjoy the shit. That's all he cares about. If you look at his fucking resume, which we will do soon, that's what he makes. So anyway, to get off the tangent about his fucking hair, which I think that's weird to everybody now. Because like I
Yeah.
said, past 20 years he's been bald and
He's been bald
everything.
and everything, yeah.
So how fast everybody switched up on him, dude.
Bro,
Like
this movie is a lesson.
everybody.
This movie is a lesson. Your mans ain't really your mans, because there's a Kendrick bar for this exact situation. When shit hit the fan, is you still a fan? Cause
Listen,
boy,
no,
they didn't even give my mans the benefit of the doubt
no.
at all. Them allegations dropped. So keep in mind, we just established Danny's partner Nate is investigating embezzling within the Chicago Police Department. Nate gets killed on a night where he's supposed to meet with Danny. So now Danny
Mhm.
pulls up, Nate's already dead, the police show up, they think Danny did it. So now boom, they're trying to frame, the people behind this are trying to frame Danny with Nate's murder and the embezzlement. The way everyone in that police department gave him no benefit of the doubt whatsoever was crazy. Like,
You
y'all
knew
have known this man for 20 plus years
the
and
first
y'all
thing
switch
I
up on
thought
him like
about,
that?
everybody, like everybody, even his partner's wife. So the
Yes.
first thing I thought about, bro, was okay, he got killed last night and he was caught at the scene. Cool. Like over the body. They called him over the body because he had just
Yeah.
got there and he found him.
Yeah.
Police could roll up as he's coming. Suspicion one.
Yeah, that was suspicious.
Two, they found the gun within like, wait, I think he met him at like 9 or 10 at night.
Mhm.
And the next morning, they was at his house with a warrant
Yeah.
because they found a gun that was tied to some cases that he worked.
Mhm.
We see the killer throw the gun in the river
Yeah.
or the pond. It's a pond over there. your first clue is not bet the gun is in that.
But the gun's in the pond right next to where the murder happened. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
like don't get me wrong, you want to do some, but also to find that bitch with
the next morning,
immediately,
like the next day.
and then have a warrant and to
Yeah,
wake him up at his home by knocking on his door for that warrant. Suspicious as fuck. But I think it was two people that was really kind of, I don't want to say they were on his side, but they weren't against him either.
yeah,
It was Eagle and Palmero. You know, Palmero like, what's going on, Danny? We hearing some things about you.
yeah.
And then like something else happens and he kind of just walks away. And that's the
Hmm.
only time you really see him until later in the movie, which again you see where him and Eagle are conflicted with what's going on.
Yeah,
So those are the only two outside of his wife people in this movie that kind of look out for him. Even
yeah.
fucking Frost, who's supposed to be his friend for 20 years, and the chief who he works for, he like, you don't think I did this? They like, I don't know what to
I
believe.
don't know what to
And he's
believe. And
like,
they were so ready to get him up out of there too. That was really what blew me.
immediately.
It wasn't even that they turned on him. That was already bad enough as is. Cause y'all didn't even really try to talk to him about the situation, nothing. Y'all just heard allegations about a dude you've known for 20 years and just ran with it. Knowing that these allegations are completely against the person you got to know for the past 20 years. Like I would at
Well,
least question that. You know what I'm saying?
niggas be hiding some shit, dog.
That niggas do be hiding shit. So that's why I'm not saying like completely dismiss it, like, oh, whatever.
Yeah,
But to just switch up on them without even so much as having a
yeah.
conversation with bro, I think is a little crazy
I
for me
think the
personally.
craziest one was maybe his lawyer, dog.
Bro,
That
his lawyer,
nigga,
that nigga's
that can't
fired,
even
bro.
try,
He
bro. That
didn't.
nigga said, "Hey, bro, it ain't nothing I can do. Why are you here?"
Why are you could have got better support from a public defender than what that man did for you. He said, man, take the deal. I'm like, you didn't even make
That
an
was it.
attempt. You
He
didn't even
ain't
make an
try.
attempt.
He ain't try to get rid of no evidence. He ain't try to, like, or I'm sorry, not get rid of, but he ain't try to fight no evidence coming in. He ain't try to fight none of the allegations. It's so many things that could have been done as an attorney, or I mean anybody
Mm-hmm.
that they could have done. Like they say, they found one of the things they found when in his house was they found receipts of bank account of offshore
Offshore
bank
bank
accounts,
accounts. Yeah.
and it had his name on it. But then when you got to think about it, it's like, okay, well, I'm sure they got phone records. You got to have something to open up a foreign bank account. You can't just
Mm-hmm.
be like, I want to open up a foreign bank account, please.
Yeah.
Like, bet it's in
Yeah.
your name. What?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not
You
how
know,
that works.
a signature here, a signature there, something.
Like there was no
And
due diligence done.
they found everything so easily, and like really, you think this nigga is doing all this dirt, and then they only found like the last 3 or 4 missing payments from where it was. So they thought he was embezzling from the police disability pension fund or something like that,
Yeah.
and they found like the last 4 parts that was going on. And the whole time I'm just thinking, I'm like, okay, well, Nate's investigating this, but I'm pretty sure either the feds or the state they should already be investigating this money missing
Yeah.
from a that's like if the fire department embezzling there. The police not handling that. That's too close to home. We don't
Yeah.
trust you niggas.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think we could this nigga's court. I want to say we could jump into, when the bulk of it happens, but this is perfectly going into it. His corduroy pants, bro. If this wasn't the fucking 90s, bro,
Oh, it would have you had to flame buddy a little bit. It's the 90s.
this
You got to give him some.
nigga had brown corduroy pants, and I'm in my room just chuckling, bro, looking
Just
at this shit like,
that shit
dog,
did look goofy, but it's the 90s, bro. You got to shoot him a little bit
that
of
shit was
grace. You
probably
feel me?
he's probably the freshest nigga at the precinct.
Dog.
Freshest nigga at the precinct with them corduroy pants.
Like I'm like, yeah, that should look out of place for sure. That should look out of place as hell.
It was silly as fuck.
Nah, but I think one thing that I liked how they set this up is one thing that irritates me about characters, and it's like the quickest way to kind of lose me as far as character development. When characters make like complete 180s that weren't earned. Like characters can change, characters can evolve, but
Who you
don't just
talking about?
like don't just I'm talking about Danny. Don't just
Uh,
switch somebody up out of nowhere. Like, okay, so we've established Danny is a
um,
little reckless, right? But he's obviously someone who doesn't want to put other people in danger or you know what I'm saying, risk the lives of others. He's established that 'cause he's a hostage negotiator. The
Mhm.
point of his job is to save lives. So the idea of a hostage negotiator now taking hostages, you need to build me up to the point of making it believable that he would do something like that.
They did.
Exactly. That's the point I'm
Oh,
making.
okay.
So
I'm sorry.
like, yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah.
What?
Yeah, no, that's the point I'm making. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I liked the way they established that with this character because
Yeah.
that's one of my biggest pet peeves. Like,
Because, like you said,
just
first they and he says this
yeah,
in one of the monologues to so I want to say it was when the helicopter was at the window.
hmm
First they killed his friend.
they kill my friend.
They framed him for first of all the murder, but also
Yeah,
the embezzling, and then they basically they turned everybody in the precinct against him, the whole
hmm
city against him at this point.
yep,
Uh, then they about to send you to prison,
yeah.
and
And
like I said,
he said
the attorney like
did
might want to
nothing.
take this deal, bro.
Yeah,
Like that was
like
it. It wasn't.
yeah,
Well, what about this, and this? That
yeah.
nigga said it ain't
And
nothing
I
else I can do for you. Take the deal
exactly.
and walked
And now
off.
it's
Like
like
nigga,
the
what?
one person after all of that, the one person standing between you and prison just said, "Fuck it, you're out of." It's like at a certain point, what else I got to lose? I'm about to go to prison anyway. I might as well take matters to my own hand to try to clear my name.
And he really didn't even crash out at first. He went in, he said, "Yo, you gotta tell me something, bro.
Yeah,
If you was investigating this, tell me this, and this." And then they tried to get Buck on the nigga.
and then he crashed out.
And
You're
then he
right.
crashed out. Again,
Yeah,
he didn't go into this room planning to take hostages. And we know
yeah,
this because nigga didn't go in there with nothing.
yeah. That is
He
true.
went
He
in
did
there
not go in
dolo,
there with no. He took the other officer's gun that was in there, so that is fair. He didn't go in there with the intent to crash out.
but
He just
it
ended up
also
crashing out.
showed yeah, he just crashing out. But it also shows like how smart he is because and they make mention of this. They say, "Yo, he knows our tactics. He knows what we gonna do. He knows what." But like, he's so intelligent. His character is so intelligent that you know he has these four people in the room. Kicks one nigga out, and he keeps the three.
hmm
He keeps a secretary. He keeps knee bomb, and then he keeps a snitch that's there snitching.
Yeah, and Frost.
Well, Frost wasn't there yet. Frost
Yeah,
walked
Frost
in.
came later. You're right. Frost came
But
later.
one thing he does is, again, he's in like we didn't even say where he was at. He's in the internal affairs main office.
hmm
The one thing he does is when he comes out with his gun to buddy's head, he's like, "Hey, take y'all guns off, take y'all keys off, take y'all handcuffs off, throw them on the table." And all these things is like he uses all these things.
hmm
And throughout the movie, he kind of MacGyvers this shit because every time something happens and they give him, they're not trying to. They give him things not by their choice. I can't think of the word I was trying to use, but he uses all these things.
Yeah.
You even see like once he kicks everybody out the room, you see him assessing the situation. Like, okay, well, what do I do? What would I do on the other end? He's
hmm
looking around. He's duct taping vents, and he leaves some vents open just enough for them to get some cameras in, and then he
hmm
destroys the motherfuckers
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
let them know I'm in charge of this situation. So y'all gonna have to
Yeah, like y'all gonna have to heed these demands a little bit. I'm not letting y'all off the hook. I think to your point about that scene, and that kind of gets back into or goes into my next point, I should say, of as soon as he takes the hostages, he gets Frost in there, because like you said, Frost did come later. So now he has 4 hostages total. He gets on the phone and he requests to speak to one person only, and that's Chris Sabian. And at first, we don't, as an audience, don't know who this is. But the film immediately introduces him and shows
before
you,
we get to
yeah,
Chris
this is
Sabian.
Kevin Spacey's character.
Yeah, before we get to him, because I wrote this down.
Okay.
I wanted to get to talk about Farley first
Okay.
because they knew. I don't know what Farley's job is. He can't be a regular negotiator because
Bro,
there
I
was
was
no
wondering
confidence. There was no
why.
confidence in him at all. Like they immediately, the chief of his division said Farley's gonna take this, be the negotiator, and the main they call him HHBT. The main SWAT guy goes, "Hey, he'll eat him alive." And they go through this whole thing of him talking to Farley and kind of he's like, "All right, well, you want to
Mhm.
talk? Let's talk." He starts asking for things. He said, Farley keeps saying no. He said, "Hey, motherfucker, no." Stop saying no. And he's like, "Hey, Danny, I just want to talk to you. This is pretty serious."
You got that right, it's serious.
But after a while, he's asking for stuff, and he keeps saying no again.
Farley keeps saying that no word.
And he shoots off a gun or some shit. He throws his phone back to Paul Giamatti, and he's like, "Are you okay?" And what he say? He say, "Just don't be saying no, motherfucker."
Just don't be saying no, motherfucker.
And Paul Giamatti also doesn't have. He has more lines than obviously most of the people in here because
Yeah.
he's his characters in most of the scenes, but he doesn't. He also doesn't have that many lines. But the few lines that he have, and just the way his character plays it, was pretty fucking funny to me.
Yeah. Nah, yeah, his character, Rudy, Paul Giamatti's character was funny and annoying at the same time. Like that was like he was the comedic relief, but he was also irritating at some points. But like I liked his character though. Like he was
Yeah,
irritating in a good way. Like it served the story for him to be annoying. Like he wasn't just irritating just because, oh, as an audience member, I can't stand this character. Like him being irritating was a part of the character and served the story. So
he
I
wasn't Jar
appreciated
Jar
that they did it.
Binks.
You said he what?
He wasn't Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, no. Yeah,
He was
no.
not
He
Jar Jar
wasn't that.
Binks.
He wasn't that. It wasn't that irritating. It wasn't that
And then,
irritating.
like I said, I'll
No.
let you get back to your introduction of Chris Sabin because I thought that was pretty. It was funny because it was kind of mirroring what Danny's doing, but obviously Chris Sabin wasn't working.
Yeah. No, and like the Farley, I'm glad you brought the Farley thing up because that was like a good setup of like, okay, clearly the dude they have doing hostage negotiations right now has no clue what he's doing. So we've established that. And we get introduced to Chris Sabian, who's Kevin Spacey's character. This opening scene of him trying to negotiate a issue between his wife and his daughter, which was like I thought it like a cool, fun little way to introduce his character by like kind of similar to Samuel Jackson. You want to introduce their negotiation skills, but in this case, you do it in like a much more tame and non-intense situation because you're about
Yeah.
to see him in an intense situation. So let's start him off by humanizing him a little bit and kind of giving you a little bit about who he is. So then by the time Chris Sabian gets over to because it takes him a while to get there, and Sam Jackson's character is like making a point of it, like, hey, if Chris ain't here in the next however many minutes, I'm about to start picking up hostages. So it takes Chris a minute to get there, but he finally does. And that's really where the mystery part of the movie starts to kind of get into high gear of you trying to figure out, okay, which police officers in these scenes can I trust and which ones are playing for the other team. And Samuel Jackson makes a point to say like this happens a little bit later in the movie, but you know, when your friends all turn against you, sometimes the only people you can trust are strangers. And I think Samuel Jackson's character, Danny, wanted Chris Sabian there because like, I need somebody else who would on the other end who would think the way I think and who will question things and who's not tied to any of the other people in the room.
Actually, he didn't say that much later. He said that because
I
I
think it was
think
like the first time Chris
yeah,
came up
because
to
soon
see
as
him.
soon as
Yeah.
Chris got there, he talked to him on the phone. He said he gave him his list of demands, and then he said, "I want to see you up here."
Up here.
And then he asked him, he's like, "Yeah, why me? Why me?"
Hmm.
Because nobody knows why he wants him.
Yeah.
Uh, I think the wife says like, "I don't know who that is."
Yeah.
Everybody and they like, he's on the west side of the city. He not
Hmm.
even from our division on our side.
Hmm.
And just what he was saying, what Farrell was saying was, they showed us some of like his negotiating skills with the kids, but they also say, for the past 5 years, this nigga he hasn't lost anybody through violence. No every situation that he's resolved has been resolved through him talking. And they make it a point to mention that one time he talked to somebody for 55 hours,
Yeah.
which is a long, what's 2 days?
An
That's a
insanely
long
long
ass
period of
time.
time.
2.5, two and some change. So you really get a grasp of like, okay, showing Farley and then showing him shows again, kind of just shows the gravity of the situation and just how talented Saban was in
Hmm.
negotiating.
Yeah, no, that's like to me where the film starts to pick up and where you see some of the best elements of this movie. And I think Sabian's character was one of the highlights for me as well. Obviously,
Yeah.
him and Danny are the main focuses, but I thought Sabian had a lot of scenes in this movie that kind of, at least for me personally, made him like the character I was most endeared with in this movie because it's going to sound crazy given everything Danny was dealing with, but in the midst of that scene, Sabian was the character who was navigating the most bullshit to me because
Dog.
he came into it with the least amount of information, right? Everyone has their motives. Danny knows he's innocent and he's trying to prove his innocence. the police as a collective don't know Danny's innocent, but there's a few in there that do because they know that they're
They did
guilty.
it.
You know what I'm saying? Chris is the only one coming into this having really no affiliation with either side and trying to figure out who's telling the truth, who's lying, how do I get this dude who's a former hostage negotiator in my position, that used to be in my position, how do I get him to settle down and hopefully release some of these hostages? He knows all the tactics I'm about to throw at him. So, and on top of that, he has to deal with the fact that the police that he's working with have ulterior motives to kill Danny. And now he has to weed through who within this department can I trust and who can I not trust.
The crazy part is not even the ones that's just trying to, there's the dirty ones. It's all the cops because,
Yes.
they just want the situation done.
Mm-hmm.
To them at this point, like he's proved his guilt because
Mm-hmm.
he's taking hostages.
Yeah.
But the first thing that happens when Chris Sabin goes up to talk to him, he's like, okay, I'm in charge of the situation now. I'm the negotiator.
Mm-hmm.
That they send 2 guys in to arrest him. And as soon as that happens, what happened? So before that, he was talking to guys. He was talking to all the guys on the radio,
Mm-hmm.
to the whole SWAT team, all of them got negotiating team on the phone, just talking to him like, y'all know me, this, and this. But when Chris Sabin comes up, Danny Star's like, he like, hold on, something ain't right. He kicked Chris out. He ran into the room. Boom. They blow up some glasses. They get into the room. 2 guys. Nobody. I don't think nobody shot. No, one person did shoot at him. And they kind of. This is where Palmero and Eagle kind of showed it. Like, I'm not believing what they saying about him
Yeah.
because the 2 guys are pointing guns at him from different sides. First of all, they were in each other's crossfire, bad
Mm-hmm.
position to be in. But the sniper was looking at him. Well, Palmero was the sniper. He's looking at him, the dot on his head.
It had a
So,
shot, had a
so
clear
the
shot.
SWAT guys put their guns down and they tell him to take the shot. He like, no. He says, what he say? He say copy first.
Copy. He said
said
copy. He was like, nigga, don't copy,
He
shoot.
like, don't copy me, shoot. And he like, I can't do it, man. And so that just shows like those are the only 2 people that they really showed
That had his back.
that
Yeah.
at least had some misgivings about it. Like
Yeah.
they wasn't 100% like, oh, he did that shit because y'all said he did this shit.
Yeah.
But they also wasn't like that nigga being set up, he being framed. They just
Yeah.
don't know.
They just don't know. And I'm not about to kill the dude that I've
Mhm.
called a friend for 20 years off of a maybe. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the whole thing. In reality, that team wouldn't have even been there. They
Yeah.
would've
Yeah.
brought a whole nother team in because he knows them that much.
Yeah.
But like you said, that's the type of thing to where, 20 years of friendship or however many with those guys, but however long they've been friends, and to immediately turn your back on this man.
It
So
was so that they hit the craziest about face off rip. Like it was just
dumb.
crazy how quick they just said, yeah, fuck bro.
So when you say, him dealing with they shit, Chris Sabin dealing with they shit the entire time, because before Chris Sabin came, I think the FBI arrived and they were on scene and they're like, yeah, we gonna let y'all rock out. We gonna let y'all rock out. But at a point, like you said, everybody wanted this shit over with. They
Mhm.
don't care what they want the situation over with, which is understandable. But even the ones that weren't dirty, like shit, if you take a shot, you got a shot, take a shot.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's just
That's the
they were
part that surprised me the most was how like the
everybody.
officer, it wasn't just the officers who were involved in this whole embezzlement scam. It was the chief. It was Beck. Like it
So
was everybody was ready to just take Danny off the map. And I'm like, what ain't this supposed to be all mans?
did you see they said his name once? I'm looking for Ray. Did you see how many times that nigga looked at Beck?
Just like ready to give the kill order.
No. Ray was like the he's
That was the one that
was
was talking to his wife, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
every time Danny would be talking, Danny be
Mhm.
like, yeah, they trying to kill me, they trying to do this. Because after that happened, he goes to the window. He's standing
Yeah.
in the window, helicopter in front of him, they pointing guns at him, and he's yelling down because apparently it's people like want to watch this hostage situation. It's a big
Yeah.
ass crowd down there.
Bro, it's just a whole crowd just standing
And,
around just watching this.
and he's talking to him. He's like, yo, they trying to kill me. They killed my friend. They framed me. They trying to kill me. He go, it's the policy of the Chicago Police Department to try to end all hostage situations peacefully. And
Mhm.
they tried to kill me. The first thing they did was try to kill me.
me.
And so again, this is one of those things where now people just really like, yo, hold on. Because again, a new negotiator just got there,
Mhm.
came up to talk to him. This is who he wanted to talk to. And the first thing y'all do, they were working behind Chris's back so dirty.
Yeah, Chris Sabian got pissed. He's like, "Hold on, bro. I didn't tell y'all to breach. I told y'all to do
Mhm.
none of this. Y'all put the hostages at risk because I'm feeling like y'all got some ulterior motives now because why? I haven't even really had a chance to fully speak with him yet. Like I haven't even like Chris had been there for like he wasn't there for that long. He
I
could have even been there for
I
more
would
than an
say
hour. He didn't really get a
I
chance to
wouldn't even say an
negotiate.
hour. I would say less than 20 minutes because they phone call
Literally.
was I would say that it probably took him the longest to get up those stairs because it was on like one of the top floors and they
Mhm.
already cut power to the elevators.
Yeah. Yeah.
But every time during his speech, Tom Ray like look at Beck. So,
Yeah.
that's them trying to throw the audience off the scent of who's actually the bad guy because Beck
Yeah.
ends up not being one of the bad guys. But
Yeah.
he's also one of the guys, he they show an interaction he has with Danny in the beginning of the movie, and he don't really see eye to eye with Danny. He don't like the way that Danny does things
Yeah. Yeah.
because he's a he's a run and gun person. That's all we do. We going to shoot, we gonna do this. And every time he's like I said, he's the one telling Palmero to shoot him.
Yeah.
Every time. Hey, y'all got a shot on him? Take it. And
Take it.
the chief said, you want to kill him on national TV?
Yeah, he was like, "Do you want to shoot him on TV? Like, chill out."
And as I'm looking at that, bro, I'm like, why would a news team be there? And then I was like, oh shit. It was probably less hostage situations in the fucking 90s.
Yeah.
So when it does happen, it's a big deal. Nah,
Yeah.
nigga, it be a hostage situation every other week in this motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say overall, I think this movie executed a lot of the things needed for an effective crime thriller really well. You set up the main character well, gave him an understandable progression to the crash out that he finally, you gave him a great counterpart in Kevin Spacey's character in
Hmm.
Sabian to play off of, and a character who serves as like a neutral party in this mystery thing, which kind of helps the audience be able to view it through his perspective. Obviously, we know Samuel Jackson's character is innocent,
Right.
but we don't know which police officers are guilty. And we're kind of viewing it through Saban's eyes in that lens because he's trying to figure that out in real time as well, if there are even any officers that are guilty. And then also, I like the fact that they kind of slow walk the dog on revealing to us who are the officers that we indeed can't trust.
Yeah.
We know Neebom and Internal Affairs is dirty. That's the one person we know off rip is a little shady. But from there, it's a little slow progression to try to figure out and unravel the rest of the mystery of which officers were involved in killing Nate and framing Danny. And I just like the way the film handled all three of those elements. And I feel like they executed them flawlessly to create that, effective mystery that this movie ended up being. And I would say like the ending gets a little, I don't want to say cartoonish, but like it does get a
It
little
kinda
like
does.
it kind of does a little bit
It
like,
wasn't too bad, but it did. My first question was, they sitting there questioning these people, and the SWAT team is in that bitch, and these niggas just disappear. Like, 3 of them just disappear, and nobody's like, "Hey, where are these
where'd they
guys at?"
go? Yeah.
We gotta back up before we get to the ending, though, because it was one more time they tried to kill Danny.
Would they kill Nebom?
When they kill Nebom. Danny,
Yeah.
Chris Saban's like, they like, hey, we just want to have somebody in the room just in case something happens.
Yeah.
Again, this is Beck. Somebody brought it to Beck. Who was it? Paul, not Palmero, not Eagle. It was Hellman. Hellman brings it to Beck. He's like, yo, we can get somebody up in here. They bring it to him. He's like, all right, yeah, put him in this room and just in case. But nobody does anything till I say something. And what these niggas do, they start
They start
spraying.
spraying.
And they like, who shot first? He's like, does it matter? Beck's like, does it matter? Again, you like, this thing kind of dirty.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
And
yeah, it matters.
but nobody asks like, hey, who was shooting?
Yeah.
And no, yeah, we know he was shooting. Who else was shooting? Like, who on our team was shooting? Because somebody was shooting. We know
Hmm.
this because we hear gunfire. And right before this happens, they're looking at Nebon's computer, and shows up with the snitch or the informant who's
The informant.
who's working with him to get the information about the people stealing the money.
Mhm.
You know, he shows up with him. He's talking to him. He's asking him these questions. He getting all of them right. Then he asks him one question that they don't know,
Mhm.
and it's because Rudy, who just so happened to be arrested for, I think they said wire fraud and something
Yeah.
else before, so he knows computers. So he finds out that the informant was actually Nate. Nate was the informant working for internal affairs to bring them down.
So it's like whoever this other dude you got me talking to claiming he's the informant, it ain't it. Whoever it is, this ain't him.
So what Danny does is he get on the mic. He like, yeah, this ain't him. But also, Newbomb said he gonna make a deal. And Newbomb know what's going on. He already
Yeah.
knows what's going on. He like, yo, stop. I ain't saying shit. I ain't
I
say
ain't
this
say
shit.
nothing shit. You about to get me killed.
And this is when the niggas in the event start trying to kill him. They start
Mhm.
trying to spray that bitch. This the part where we say like Saban was dealing with so much bullshit because it was already understood that he's in charge. Now
Mhm.
he's officially in charge. This happens, and FBI was kind of some bitches in this,
They did wait till the last minute.
I mean,
Like,
even the whole thing, they like, yeah, we the negotiators. They're like, no, we gonna handle this. And it's like, okay, we'll just watch for now.
yeah, it's like, well, are y'all gonna take over or
When
not?
they
Like,
got
what are we
ready to
doing?
take over, Saban shows up. And then the shit happens, and then the shit happens again. Now they like, "Oh, this is your fault. You're off as a negotiator. We're taking over." Then they tell Beck, "Hey, you gotta rotate your guys out." He goes, "No, no,
Yeah.
no. We know him. If you give him an opening, he gonna take it."
Yeah.
And these niggas say, "Okay, but we're negotiating now." Say, what the fuck? Y'all niggas is bitches, dog. Y'all.
Right.
And the FBI was there because the building that the Internal Affairs Office was in was owned by the federal government.
Yeah, the federal
So
building. Yeah.
I'm like, these niggas is bitches, bro. Y'all just letting this nigga Beck run all over y'all. And
Like of all people.
so like you said, he was dealing with the bullshit, but also they tell him they turn all lights and shit off. They tell the nigga, hey, you got 5 minutes to surrender. We coming in.
Mhm. And they get straight to it.
That's not negotiating, right?
Yeah,
Hey,
and they
nigga,
get
that's
straight to it.
that's that's come out or we coming. We coming to get
Yeah.
your ass.
Yeah, that basically I was like, we'll negotiate and immediately just started issuing threats. I was like, this is not what negotiating is. But I mean, to
So
each their own. At least y'all got
yeah.
involved now. You know what I'm saying?
So like we said, they kept fucking up. Even was the only one not fucking up. He did fuck up with the informant thing,
That was
but
the only thing he did wrong,
he
honestly, the
also
entire time.
said I wasn't only pulling a bluff on Danny.
Yeah, yeah,
Basically saying like the guys that's in this, they think this is an informant too now.
yeah,
But everybody's fucking up, but I'm gonna say everybody's fucking up, but Satan. They gave him two more hostages when they sent the fucking SWAT team guys in there,
yeah.
and he killed one of them.
Mhm.
Nobody knows he didn't kill him until the end. He show him to everybody, like, hey, and like I said at the beginning, he kind of MacGyvers that shit because he takes off all their gear. These niggas got like between the two of them, they got like fucking 10 flashbangs.
Bro, like
I
just
was like,
endless amounts of
yo,
flashbangs,
man, like, nigga, how many do you need?
like enough to hold off people while you taking hostages, apparently.
And what did Danny do? He used all them bitches.
Every
He
last one.
he put paper up. He made barricades in that bitch, and he escaped. And that's when it got. I don't even the escape was kind of cartoony
The escape
because
wasn't as cartoony as the
it
ending to
wasn't.
me.
But when the FBI agent asks Saban to check his trunk, and he's going to this bitch all slow, like he know Danny in the back of that bitch. And the FBI agent grilling this nigga, grimming him hard. He pops the trunk, nothing in there. He's still staring at this nigga, hand on his gun, like, okay, so you could probably actually detain him at this point
Yeah.
if you're that suspicious of this nigga. And then he just runs off.
And he's like, all right. I think that something that like happened
Yeah, I think
that like
he set off
distracted
the
him.
rest of those flashbangs somewhere.
Yeah, I would say something happened that got his attention.
But still, like, also, because everybody went running. And again, if we have a perimeter and something happens over here, and niggas from over here and over here and over here go over here, nigga, the perimeter gone.
Yeah.
But again, it's a movie, so
You
obviously.
gotta suspend the disbelief a little bit.
So I didn't think it was that cartoony. What I thought was cartoony was I thought the reveal of Frost was cartoony.
Okay.
I thought his whole thing and then his encounter with Saban at the end. I thought
Yeah.
that was the cartoony part.
I
to me.
agree.
It was just
Yes.
kinda like
It was that whole interaction, the
yeah,
reveal of Frost, and then his interaction with Saban and how Saban bluffed him. To me, that felt, oh, this feels a little cartoony.
yeah.
But by that point, I had been so locked into the film and the story, I kind of gave it a little bit of a pass.
Told you,
But
dog.
now that I've been reflecting on it, I'm like, that if there was like a critique I could have about this movie, it would probably be that.
Because it 'cause all even though, he shot him. Saban shot Danny, and at the end, he says, I'm guessing you would rather be shot by me than him."
Yeah.
And he lays on the floor, and he's bleeding. He's like, "You killed Nate, I killed Danny." And they just this nigga just walk out, and they're like, "Hey, he been shot in there. He dead." They're like, "Nigga, one, he shot him in the gut. You thought he was gonna die off of that?
Yeah.
Now he may, but that quick?"
That quick. Like, come on, bro. That shit no that ain't no instant.
And, they catch Frost and the other 3 guys in the end because Danny's holding the walkie-talkie up.
Hmm.
And one thing I was wondering was like, why you niggas ain't got y'all walkie-talkies with y'all? Why y'all ain't got y'all radios with y'all? That would have prevented nigga, you would have knew then.
Yeah.
But I guess if you going to do some dirty shit, you want his less. But they took a police vehicle there. The whole thing was like,
There's some logic gaps.
it was
When
some
you really
logic
start to think
gaps,
about it, there's some logic gaps for sure. But it's
but
a 90s crime thriller.
and it's
There's gonna
fun.
be a few, yeah, and it's fun. So some logic gaps. There's a few logic gaps I can forgive it for the sake of the plot.
I think, like I said, I think if they were to remake this, it would be kind of
I don't think they should.
it's just so many things that they do in movies now, they'd be kinda crazy. I think if they were try to recreate this as a one for one, for the most part, I think it would be fine with the
Yeah,
right actors. But again,
yeah,
you don't have any say what you will about Kevin Spacey, bro. The nigga's a phenomenal actor.
yeah.
Fucking like I said,
Usual
Usual
Suspects.
Suspects was the first
Yes,
movie that I seen him in. I didn't
yeah,
see Seven till like 3 years ago, and I was so fucking mad I had never seen it before. But then House of Cards, nigga.
yeah. I still
House
haven't
of
seen House of Cards.
Nigga,
Yeah,
House
I
of
know.
Cards is a fucking masterpiece. And this was one of Netflix's first like series. And
Hmm.
I think I started watching the show that same year that the allegations against him came out and he
Hmm.
went to trial. And by the time I got to the last season, I was like, all right, I'll just wait.
Yeah,
And then nigga, the last season, they took the whole show off of Netflix. You could not find House of Cards on Netflix. The only way you could watch it is if you were to buy the DVD,
yeah,
and you had to do that shit through Amazon. I don't even think Amazon had them. You could buy them, but it was hard as fuck. So once the case calmed down, and it was like, they found him not guilty because innocent and not guilty are two separate things.
yeah. Facts.
So when they found him not guilty, they put the show back on there, and I'm watching. I'm like, okay, this is good, but this ain't what it was
Yeah,
because
it ain't
he's
hitting the
not in that
same.
last season.
Yeah,
Nigga,
yeah,
that the first, I think 3 seasons where it's just a masterpiece and
yeah.
he plays it well. It's not many actors I think that could play that role like he did.
Yeah. Yeah. No, no, I do need to check out House of Cards at some point. That is on my list. But go ahead and let us know how you will rate The Negotiator now that you've seen it again.
Before I get my rating, I wanna 2 more lines that I picked up while like I said, I'm watching it, I'm like, "Damn, I ain't really got no notes right now." I really don't have no critiques because, like you said, let me go through my whatchamacallits first. So after they went in the first time
Hmm.
and he got back downstairs, he's like, "Yo, Saban's like, hey, I'm in charge. I'm in charge. I got this." And he said, and he goes, "They're not listening to you, Chris,
Yeah.
but I'm about to show them why they
It
should."
should.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yo, like Samuel Jackson wasn't a in real life, the nigga would probably face some charges and get off because
Hmm.
he uncovered this, but you still hold some niggas in the like you caused a lot of stuff."
Yeah. Yeah. Assault, kidnapping, destruction of federal property. It's a few charges you could have got him on.
But in this movie, he's the protagonist.
Yeah.
I think he makes a great antagonist in everything he's in. Samuel Jackson does. He has one where he plays a it wasn't a good movie, but he plays an interrogator. And what that means for his character is he tortures motherfuckers.
Yeah.
He gets information out of you. And I say that because these lines are not lines of a good guy. I'm about to show them why they
Why
should
they
listen to
should.
you.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
yo,
not a
nigga,
typical protagonist line for
I'm
sure.
about to fuck some shit up. Then the other one is after he kills the SWAT officer,
Mhm.
saving like, hey, I'm coming up there. He
Yeah.
runs up, they're pointing guns at each other. And he goes, "You think you got goodwill because of this? You got goodwill because of that?" He said, "I really don't care. My main job is to get the hostage out of here. You coming out safe is a distant second."
Yeah.
And he said, "What you think you can do that's gonna work?" And he said, Daddy said, I still have hostages. They can still be punished for your mistakes." I said, "Yo,
Like,
this
yo,
is like
diabolical works.
so." And again, we know actually we really don't know how far gone he is because we don't know that he didn't do any of the other stuff. We
Mhm.
know he didn't kill Nate. We really don't know that he didn't embezzle the money, but we figured that since they killed Nate, they're
It's
setting him
probably
up.
somebody else. Yeah.
But once the hostage situation starts, we don't know how far gone he is. So
Mhm.
when this nigga saying, "All right, I already killed one officer," one of the things Frost kept saying, he said, "Oh, you're not gonna kill him, Danny. Don't do that. You guys are safe." And he told Frost, he said, "If you think I killed Nate, why do you not think I'd kill these motherfuckers?"
Mhm.
So to get to my rating, like I said, pacing was great actually. Like you said, it's that the opening straight into the hostage situation where they really don't tell you what's going on. You figure it out through the dialogue that he's having with the hostage taker.
Mhm.
And once that's resolved, like you said, it goes straight into an event and it's an after party for a party. It's a party for somebody, the chief or somebody. And then you get into the setup of the movie where he's talking to Nate. And then, like I said, it keeps going. So, like you said, even when it's a dull moment in there, or I don't even want to say dull, I'm saying a lull in a action, things are happening. You
Mhm.
know, his wife is telling him, like, yo, I need you to be play this a little more safe, a little safer. You're married now. I want you to come home. Nate dies. Like, so
Yeah.
like it's as soon when there's no action happening, something serious is happening. Because I don't
Mhm.
call one person dying action because
Mhm.
that he got like assassinated. It wasn't really a score. You know, they do have a got a little score, but it's no big musical numbers, I guess I'll say. To take you away. It kind of just leading you into the action and out of the action.
Mhm.
It's predictable, but it's not predictably bad. And I think that's one of the like you said, that's one of the best things that for a crime drama that you could probably get. Because everybody in a crime drama, everybody's a suspect to you. But if it's just like this person did it, this why they did it, this how it happened, this. If you already know everything, it's like, okay, why am I watching this?
Mhm.
But also, if you watching a fucking crime drama and you like, yeah, it's probably this motherfucker. And then it's a nigga that you've never seen before. You're like, where does shit come from? It's probably not that great of a movie. Like I said, the only issue I had, it really wasn't a big issue to me, was the dialogue at the end between Frost and Saban and how Frost kind of showed up as the bad guy. I'm gonna give it an 8.
Okay.
I wanted to say 9, but because it's a good movie, but I 8.5. I'm gonna give it an 8.5
Okay.
because it's a really fun movie. It's a really good watch. It's almost 2.5 hours long, and it does not feel like it, except on Amazon because they got commercials.
Nah,
Outside of
fact. That
that,
shit was irritating, bro.
outside of that, man, I'm glad I remember. I don't remember how we started talking about this. I think what movie were we talking about? Because I know I brought up this and I brought up Ransom with racist ass Melody Gibson and
Ray says Mel Gibson's.
Gary Sinise. I don't remember what we were talking about because
Where this one got brought up, I don't really remember.
yeah, hostages and hostage takers, kidnappers.
But you're not that far off though from my rating though. You're not that far
Okay,
off. You're not that far off. I would agree with just about everything you said. Pacing was great. Characters felt real for the most part, except for in certain scenes. They felt a little over the top. But for the most part, characters felt real. They felt grounded. The tension in a lot of the scenes where you see Danny really fighting for his freedom and his right to, have his point of view heard. 'Cause he even says that at one point, like, what do I have to do to be heard? You know what I'm saying? Like,
y'all not listening.
y'all not listening. I gotta hurt somebody for y'all to listen. What I gotta do?
Which
And kind
again
of saying,
is some villain type shit to say.
yes, that's real. Like, really is like some villain type shit. Like, and it was you really saw a protagonist that kind of had to become the bad guy in order to uncover the truth. And the level of desperation you saw his character in that drove him to do a lot of the shit that he was doing, it was earned. It wasn't cheap. It didn't feel out of nowhere. They didn't just flip the switch and go, all right, well, he's a lunatic now. Like, no, they kind of walked you through the progression of how somebody who was a hostage negotiator for the police could get to the point where they're now crashing out and taking, 4 hostages and threatening to kill people. You know what I'm saying? Like they make that part as believable as they can with the story progression that they give you. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this one an 8. I agree that this was a banger for sure. I genuinely cannot believe that I hadn't seen this before.
Nigga wasn't
And
watching
F. Gary,
TNT.
I wasn't. I missed out on this one. But F. Gary Gray, hats off to him for this. He has a, but let us know if you all have seen The Negotiator, which I hope you have. You finished this review. Let us know your thoughts on it. Let us know what you think your favorite Samuel Jackson movies are. That might be a relevant topic later. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Always continue to like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate all the support. And until next time, this is the Reel Junkies. Peace.